So I guess just to start with, could you give us a brief description of what AlphaFC is?
Yeah, so you've probably seen AlphaFC on the kits as the primary manufacturer. Uh, the kits are also sponsored by Phantom, Radium, and Bonk. Phantom being the biggest wallet on Solana, one of the biggest in for cryptocurrencies in general. Radium being the biggest decentralized exchange on Solana, doing around $1 billion in volume per day, and Solana and Bonk being one of the biggest communities. Um, AlphaFC is a platform where fans will be able to engage with the club, ideally, be able to vote on everything from kit design to draft beer selection, all the way to whether they want to elect a new chairman for the club in the long run. So really having that top-down level of control. Our thesis is that football ownership has long been a very homogenous thing where you have a select group of individuals who control everything that a club does. Ultimately, the fans view these clubs as their own, and we feel that the clubs should function as their own clubs. Ultimately, we think that we want Alfreton to operate in a not-for-profit structure, and for fans to own digital club tokens that control the club. I think that the way that clubs currently operate, you have profits that are often extracted from the club. Ultimately, any club worth their salt is going to reinvest all the profits into the club anyway. So clubs aren't, in our perspective, something that should be owned by a single individual or a group of individuals, but rather should be owned by a not-for-profit that's then controlled by the fans, via the method of club tokens that we'll be introducing.
And I guess for example, a fan who's looking for Alfreton news, scrolling through Twitter, what does the experience with AlphaFC sort of look like for a fan on a sort of daily basis as they're sort of engaging with the club?
Yeah, so obviously the platform isn't live quite yet. For starters, it's going to be primarily based around analytics. You'll log in, you'll create an account, you'll be able to dive into the players on our team, their stats and analytics. The players on other teams will have some sort of crowdsourced scouting where you'll be able to work with other fans to identify players that you would like for the club. You'll be able to comment and react to different plays, to different matches. In the long run, we would like there to be streaming, and we're working on getting all of the matches streamed live and free, because ultimately we want to get Alfreton football in front of the entire world, and as many people as possible at that. So ultimately we'd want fans to be able to watch the matches, talk to each other, digital fans and participants to talk to each other during the matches in a live chat, and eventually be able to tip the players live during these matches. So there are obviously, logistics around all of these things, and we've been working through them. We're excited to bring the platform to the public. There will eventually be the release of those club tokens, and fans will be able to use those to vote on the things that we discussed.
And obviously, you're the first new owner at Alfreton Town in 27 years, obviously succeeding Wayne Bradley. With all these new steps into what seems like a more digital world, how are you planning on balancing the sort of traditions of Alfreton Town Football Club with going into this new sort of digital environment?
Yeah, I think it starts with just talking with the fans and making sure that we communicate everything that we're doing with them, and then making sure that we take care of them and all these new features that we're implementing. For example, with the club tokens, making sure that the fans receive a fair share of these, because they are what's ultimately going to decide a lot of the cultural direction of the club during the season, and then the higher level direction of the club in the postseason. So I think, interfacing with the fans, making sure that they're included both from decision making and perspective, and that they have input, and from an operational perspective, in that they have like real exposure and participation in what we're building.
And do you think it's still important to, as well as having that dialogue with the fans online, to continue the dialogue with the fans in the ground and, for example, the supporters association as well?
Yeah, absolutely. We're very grateful to have such a dedicated supporters association. We're grateful to have such dedicated fans that come to the matches day in and day out. I've been sure to shake hands with and introduce myself and get feedback from as many fans as I possibly can, and I'll continue to do that. And I know the rest of the team will continue to do that as well. What we're doing here long term is meant to drive attention to the club, with the goal of giving us more resources that we can then go and spend to play better on the pitch and win matches ultimately. So I think none of this would be possible without the support of the fans, and their their participation is paramount.
And lastly, what message would you have for Alfreton Town fans, both in the ground and worldwide, as the club takes these steps into the next digital realm?
Yeah, I think we encourage everyone locally to participate as much as possible to continue supporting, and as I said, we'll continue to listen to their needs and make sure that the experience at the ground and around the ground is the best possible. We appreciate all the support at away matches, and for our fans around the world, for our fans in the that may only know the club digitally, that may have just bought a shirt because they like how it looks, or they're a part of one of our sponsors communities. I would say to just keep an eye on what we're doing. To start watching our content, start watching our matches when they're available to stream, start participating in the platform, and I think this is a town that people will really fall in love with. I think our players, our volunteers, our staff members, everyone has a really interesting story to tell, and I think that with the incredible work that our content team has done, we're going to be able to tell those stories, and I think that the world is really going to fall in love with the Reds.